Hello and welcome back to my tutorials. In Ireland our lockdown was extended for another 6 weeks, and I'm very aware that communion and confirmation season is coming up. So if us makeup artists cannot get back to work to do your faces, I have showed you how you can do your own faces in this tutorial. Now I've adapted the look a little bit. I've showed you how, if you don't want to use these colours in the particular palette that I've used, that you can mix and match colours to suit your own taste. If you've any questions, pop them down below and I'd be more than happy to help. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you like this video, share it to your other mommy friends as well. My son's communion was last year and I couldn't get to a hairdresser, so yeah, I know the pain of not being able to get to us professionals when we have special days, but you'll be more than able to do it yourself if you need to. So stay tuned for the show. Let's get started. As always, I have my it's actually like a tea towel I use to wipe off any excess product on my brushes, because you just get a bit more use out of the brushes. So on my face at the minute, I have put on my moisturizers, my SPF, and my color corrector. So I want a dewy look, because I do think for this kind of look, dewy, you know, radiant, it's lovely. So we're going to go in with my beauty base. This is by Amy Connolly. It's just brilliant. So I don't put it all over my face. I literally put it down my nose, kind of where the sun could hit your face. But we're going to apply highlighters here anyway, and I have oily skin, so if I apply it in the T-zone, come a few hours, I'm going to look greasy, and I don't want that. So you can apply it all over your face, and if you're going to do this for your communion or your confirmation, for your kids' confirmation day, try it out before you do it and see which works for you. So I've put that on now. Quick talk as well about primers. So I use the Smashbox Photo Finish primer, and this is a color corrector one, so it's green, but when you put it on your skin, it calms down any redness that you may have. No, Smashbox also do a really good one for oily skin. I'll put the links down to the primers, all the different primers down below, and also number 7 do a really good kind of all-rounder primer. So I'll do a primer. I'll link the primers down below. So for my foundation, Illamasqua is brilliant. It's suitable for all skin types. So if you're not sure what skin type you have, Illamasqua, it's called Skin Base. This will suit every skin type. So it does dry down quite matte, but if you use the skin, they both called, yeah, Beauty Base. Skin Base and Beauty Base. If you apply the sculpted Beauty Base, you'll get that glow. So what I use, because I have tan on, as you can see, it's a bit dodgy tan, sure. It is what it is. I use it in number 7, and I do it around at the halo around my face in the darker color to match up with my tan, and then in the middle of my face I use a mixture of number 5 and number 3.5, because I have quite pink pigment in my skin, but when you put on tan, you're naturally quite yellow pigment in your skin. So I like to use both yellow and pink, both yellow toned and pink toned foundations, because I have both of them in my skin when I have tan on, so that's why I use them. So I'll apply this now. So I'm just putting on, it's actually 7.5, just popping on 7.5. Now because I have colour corrector on, I'm not rubbing, I'm just patting it in. Can you see that you pat? If you rub, you're gonna move whatever colour corrector you put on underneath. Now obviously if you don't have any colour corrector on, you just have your moisturisers and your SPF, you can you know, rub it gently back and forth, but I find when you pat, you get a better coverage. Now for my clients, when I'm doing clients, I do sheer layers. So I will put on multiple layers of foundation and concealer until I get the right consistency for each client. it just makes your skin look like, it makes your skin look flawless, and it looks like you don't have a lot of foundation on, even though, because you're building up the layers. And it also gives it longevity if you do it this way, rather than just putting on a whole amount of foundation. If you do it this way, it lasts longer. Once you're happy with your foundation and the coverage of your foundation, you go in with your contour. And so I use the Contour in Warm by So Sue. This is a cream stick contour, and I also use Sculpted by Amy Connolly in Porcelain, and I'll pop them out of my face now. Back in with your foundation brush, and you just pat all that down and blend it all in. The sculpted products are brilliant because you can buy them in pretty much any chemist. I know Boots definitely does them. In a mask you will have to buy online if you do want to go down that particular foundation route. But the good thing about Illamasqua, and if you are, is they sell a pure white foundation. So if you're not sure about your skin tone for foundation, buy a darker one if you want to, and color match it with the white. So I suppose if you're used to painting, it's just like painting, and you're just getting the correct skin tone for your skin. So then you'll have, I do it for me as well, and my clients, if you can color match their skin this way. But it's just a tip if you want to go down that road. So I'm just going in now with my powder bronzer, and I'm just powdering over the areas that I cream contoured with the bronzer. Hopefully not. Next, I'm going to just do my blushers off you. Keep the blusher high. I see an awful lot of TikTok tutorials, and they smile, and they smile to get the apples off the cheeks. But when you don't smile, it drops a few millimeters. So try it. If it works for you, brilliant. But I just keep my face really relaxed and then apply blusher, because most of the time your face is relaxed, and then you'll still have that lifting effect, and it won't make your face drop. So I've done this eye and I've done my eyebrows, so I'm just going to pop on a little bit of highlighter. So you want the highlighter to be where the sun would naturally kiss your face. So the nose, down the bridge of the nose, might go here, both the eyebrows. Now you can go around the temple, but I find sometimes my hair is everywhere. Try it out for you. Sometimes I like it on me, sometimes I don't. But try it out on you. try it out for yourself and see. So the palette that I used is by Be Perfect, and it's a clientele palette. I think this retails for in and around £29.95, so you're talking €30. A lot of chemists locally stock it, so it's really easy to get your hands on, and that's why I used it for this look. So the colours that I used in the palette is more, I used the blush up at the top, it's a transition colour, and I use that because of I'm wearing a pink dress. So my son's communion was last year, and if I was wearing this, these are the colours I would use for my eyes. But you have an array of colours in this palette. The steps that I will show you now for this eye, use them, they're exactly the same. Just use whatever colours that you think would suit you. Rule of thumb, not all the time, but in a lot of palettes, it's kind of the rule of 3. So these 3 go together, these 3 go together, these 3 go together. So if you look at a palette and you're totally overwhelmed by the amount of colours that they have, think of the rule of 3 and go 3. And more times than not, it works out, and they're the colours that we'll use. Now, I did go all over the place with the palette. So I used blush, I used brownie, I used chick, and I used too much. And I used a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of just black. But when I popped it on, it was too sultry it was too dark for a communion style. So I blended it out and I didn't choose it. So you can, if you want to go for that darker kind of smokier eye look, you can do that, of course. And also I used Glow Up because it's just a beautiful, it widens out the eye as well if you do it this way. Again, if you don't want to use that and you want to go matte, you could, you know, go with this kind of matte tone or something like that. So I've got them in the background. If you find eyeshadow difficult to apply, try and apply the eye that you find difficult to do first. So it tends to be, not all of the time, there's obviously exceptions to the rule, but it tends to be the opposite eye of the hand that you write with. So if you're right-handed, your left eye tends to be harder for you to do on your own eye, and vice versa. If you're left-handed, your right eye tends to be harder to do. So if you do find your eyeshadow difficult, try doing it that way. I find my left eye harder to do, and it takes me twice as long to do my left eye. So as I said before, all the steps are the same. I'm going to go in with blush, and we're just going to go in the corner. Can you see me there? In the corner, and we're just going to wiggle it. Now, I do go quite high up to the eyebrow. I just think it can be quite flattering to the eye. It can lift the face. I have quite a big space between my eyelashes and my eyebrow. So obviously everybody's different, and play around with what way works for you. I also put the sculpted concealer, I put that on my eyelid as well. I should have said that before, to start with. So we're just gonna bring it up. There, you just have a lovely wash of your transition color above your crease across your eye. So next you're going to go in, you can use the same little fluffy blender brush, and I'm going to go in with brownie. And it's I've done a tutorial on smoky eye already, but you always do your eyes in thirds. So it's, you either do it 1/3 in or 2/3 in. Never go half, because you just seem to cut the eye in half and it just doesn't look good. So we're going to go 1/3 in, and we're just going to blend with brownie up, and then we're going to blend it into that transition color, and we're going to create a V or a triangle, because we're going to start shaping the eye. Created that second shape, you're going to go in with your bullet style brush. This is really good for picking up a lot of products, so don't forget to tap, because you don't want any fallout if you've done your foundation first. If you're doing your eyes first, it's okay, but it's a good rule of thumb to always tap it out. And you're going to go into too much, and you're going to pack it in the corner. And you're going to do a little triangle as well, and you're just creating shape and depth to your eye. Can you see that there, where I'm putting it in? You decide on yourself if you want a rounded eye effect or a sharper eye effect. So I went for a sharper eye effect, so I like to kind of blow it out. But if you wanted a more round eye effect, you just go in with your transition color and you round it in circles around to create kind of an ovally shape. But if you want it to be more angular, if you go down, brush it down, 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 and brush it up, 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 and keep doing that and work it out and blend it out, you're going to get more angular. What you do now is you keep blending and you keep with the eyeshadow. You might need a little, I need a little more of the transition color up here to match the two and can keep them symmetrical. Now to go underneath, I went underneath with the blush, right in the corner, pull it down, and if you're going for that angular effect, this is when you can also pull it up and make that really angular eye. So you go up and pull it in. See what I'm doing there? And you pull it into the eyeshadow. It just blends it all together. So I went with my transition color all the way, the whole bottom of the eye, and then I go in with my darkest color, which is too much, and I do it a third of the bottom, so here, and then I pull it up into that angular shape. If you're doing a roundy eye, just blend it up into the oval shape of the eye. So you tickle the lashes with the darkest color that you've used and bring it up, and then always blending, blend it in again. When you're happy with your blend and you're happy with the positioning of your eyeshadows, I went in with Glow Up, and I do find it handier just to put it on the tip of your finger and pat it onto the eye. Now you could do it in the middle of your eye and have a halo effect and have eyeshadow either side, or you can go right into the corner and go blend it in and across. Now when you do that, do go back in with your blender brush, there'll probably some little bit of product left on it if you haven't wiped it on your cloth, and just fuse them all together so that you get a seamless blend. And then for that same color, the Glow Up, I used it just below my brow bone, just to make the brow pop a little bit, and then on the corner of the eye. Again, you don't need to do this step. You can tone it down, you can tone it up. It just is kind of the basics for this kind of look. And then to finish it off, I always go in with this, even if I'm not wearing makeup. I will do my tight line with black eyeliner, because it just makes your look come together. And then if you've gone over and you've gone a little bit on the bottom, just get your Q-tip if you don't want eyeliner on the bottom, and just wipe off the excess. Now I'm going to put on mascara. This is the finished makeup look. I have popped on lipstick, which is Sculpted by Amy Connolly in, I think, the shades Naked, but it's a beautiful pinky nude tone. Also the skin base that I was talking about earlier on, the Illamasqua, the white, I have popped that on here, because I just felt like I needed it. A little bit down the nose. When you're doing your makeup, it will settle into your skin, and when it does settle in, you might notice that you need a little bit here, a little bit there, whatever. But I needed that. But yeah, so that's the look. Feel free to subscribe, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions whatsoever in regards to it, comment down below and I'd be more than happy to answer them. And yeah, see you next time, guys.